glass half broken.
Welcome to Wasted Potential Podcast for an episode of Glass Fully Shattered. I am Ronnie, your host, and with me, as always, my partner in crime, my best friend ever, and the #1 Halo fan of all time, my dear friend Shane.
I just want to imagine that I'm wearing a mask right now. Like, I'm wearing an actual Halo mask.
You mean the helmet?
Yeah, the helmet, of course. Yeah, see, I was wearing it because I'm a big Halo fan.
Oh, well, I can tell you're a big Halo fan because you took the mask off. And obviously, you gotta take the mask off if you're talking about Halo.
If there's one thing that Master Chief, our borderline silent protagonist, does, it's constantly reveal his face and ass.
That was my favorite parts of the Halo game growing up and involving the interactive shooter first person by killing aliens was constantly seeing my protagonist's face and ass, because nothing is more important than seeing the face and the ass of your silent masked protagonist that you is masked and assless so that you can put yourself into their shoes.
All I can picture of is every time he reveals his butt. Remember when you'd shoot the aliens in Halo 1 and you go, oh, oh, the elite.
That was my favorite part, is shooting the aliens in the ass going ooga booga booga.
I remember shooting aliens. Do you remember shooting aliens? Because I don't think this show ever shot an alien. I
don't think you know how the premise works, Shane. We're talking about all the great things so that Paramount Plus doesn't cancel this podcast.
I loved how everyone was represented in future fascist society.
I love when my first-person shooters chastise the first-person shooter and don't do any first-person shooting.
I love when all my heroes are fascists.
I love that my moral compass is now an untrustworthy piece of shit who is working against me for some bullshit side plot for an evil scientist.
I love rebel children.
I love whiny teenage protagonists who have to fulfill the legacy of their fathers and then being told later that their father didn't have a good legacy.
I love when they show the Covenant.
Oh wait, those 2 times? The 2 times they show the Covenant was my fucking favorite.
I love that. But then you find out that the Covenant's being led by a teenage girl.
Talk about whitewash, motherfuckers!
Hate you! Kill you!
Are we done? Can we
Did we beat the bots?
I think we made a pass.
I give Halo 3 thumbs up my ass.
Okay. So, if you don't get it, we're here to discuss the new TV show from Paramount Plus called Hello. And we're going to kind of dive into the first 4 episodes, because at the time of recording this, only 4 have been released. And I'm going to try to get this out as quickly as possible. But I have a challenge for you, Shane. I like giving you challenges, because I know you can never actually fulfill them. So, we kind of did our ass sucking for Paramount Plus in the beginning. That was totally not sarcastic at all.
At all.
But here's a challenge. Starting now at this timestamp, how long can we objectively talk about this without getting into nerdy whining? I want to try to approach this for as long as possible. We'll get to because Shane's got a tirade and questions and things. We'll get to this in a little bit. But I want to see how long we can just kind of focus as just a science fiction action TV show. How does this kind of go? And then there will be time to bitch galore. What do you think? You think it's okay?
Yeah, I'll try to approach this as if I'm understanding the plight of the writer's room.
And then you can dive into your cocaine and then go on a fucking like adrenaline rush rant.
Oh, okay.
So, why are we talking about Halo, Shane?
We are talking about Halo because, first of all, Ronnie and I think I stayed in it a little bit longer, grew up as Halo fans, as most people our age did. We were there for the Xbox and all that. We were also around when the fabled Peter Jackson Halo was supposed to happen. Later to become, I think, Neil Blomkamp's Halo. And then that Halo got turned into District 9. We were there for that. And we had given up hope that a live-action Halo would ever be made. And then our heroes at Paramount Plus, on the heels of the success of Picard, decided that they were going to make Halo. And I had heard rumors that it was bad, but like a hot stove, I had to I had to touch it myself.
So how this came about for me was one night, I was definitely not intoxicated, but I was like, my wife fell asleep. I'm gonna watch Halo because maybe I'll fall asleep to this. So I was watching it and laughing for about half of it. I'm like, oh my god, I need to text Shane. Which I think, just funny enough, is just if we actually just put up all of our text thread for this, would be pretty hilarious. But we also get in trouble. But but it's just like I was telling Shane, it's unbelievably like funny, and then it gets really boring. So then I watched a couple episodes. Then since Shane, I don't know, like you said, I told you that the paint on the walls wasn't dry, but you had to touch it. So you touched it, and then it just so happens I was like in a meeting, and I just got a plethora, fucking myriad of texts from Shane, bitching. I'm like, okay, well, Shane's now firing on all cylinders, so we gotta talk about Halo. So then I finished episode 4, and now we are here to discuss Halo.
There's something out there, just beyond our reach.
It's like opening your eyes. For the first time, after living in the dark.
You're gonna have to fill me in, because it was a battle to stay awake and to understand. I'd just wake up, and the little Korean kid would be like, "You don't get it, we have to rebel!" And I'd be like, "Done," and I fall back asleep.
You pop in and out of consciousness.
Didn't miss a thing.
Yeah, let's just, I guess, start from the beginning and kind of, because I think the first episode you could talk a lot about, and then the rest of it, it's kind of like a blur to me.
Well, they're all there's the first episode, which is the best episode.
It's called Contact.
Yeah, and then there's the other 3, which are the same episode on repeat.
Yeah, it's like a lot is divulged, but also nothing is divulged. So let's start. So the first 10 minutes of this, I was actually kind of entertained. I was confused because, in all honesty, I have played the campaign for Halo numerous times, but I have always skipped the cutscenes because the only cutscenes I've ever really cared about are the South Park video games and the Batman Arkham games. But Halo, I'm just like, I just want to shoot aliens and like be really mad when I do Legendary. So I really couldn't tell you what the plot of Halo honestly is besides Covenant or the Catholic Church, and they want to find a super weapon to destroy stuff, right?
That's the gist. They're a religious cult that swallows up other alien races, or well, they either you join or die kind of thing, and then they take all their technology into their covenant and just basically move across the galaxy, killing off races and scouring up resources. And they have now moved into the solar system with the UNSC and have made contact with the human race.
So that's when we get our contact. Is we have what looks like a dystopian society. I don't know what planet it was called. And you have the these kind of rebels who are complaining about the UNSC, and they're talking about almost in like a folktale, like these Spartans, they're not human, and you can't trust them. So I was like, something feels wrong here. I don't know what's wrong, but something doesn't feel right. But I'm trying to be objective. I was like, okay, so just thinking,
why is he Scottish?
Why is he Scottish? Why are they Korean? Why is half of them Middle Eastern? I guess in the future, everyone is very diverse, but instead of like everyone kind of melding to the same ethnicity, like that would make sense, like evolutionarily, because we all are intermingling and, you know, marrying.
In the future, everyone but black people are rebels, and then the fascists are white and black people.
Except for the one rebel, Soren, but we'll get to him in later. But
he was a fascist.
He was a fascist, but then he was like, I'm woke, and then he stopped being a fascist. Okay, so then they're talking about the this fascist, very militant government saying how bad they're trying to rebel against them. And then knock, knock, motherfucker, who's at the door? Shane?
So it's actually the Covenant, which is kind of cool. The Covenant look really, really good. So it's a bunch of elites, and it's like, I guess, a scouting party or something. And basically they follow these children. Best part of this series by far, them just murdering and blowing children apart. Also starts a trend of the Covenant's weapons are super explosive until they're not. But they chase these kids back to the outpost, break into the outpost, murder everyone inside, and that is when our protagonist...
We'll get there in a second. Okay, so there's like criticism of the elites online. I actually like them.
I think they look really good.
I think for what they look, they definitely look alien, but they're bipedal still, so you can kind of like you understand like they work together and they're intimidating as shit.
Yeah, they're big and bulky, and
I love how people just blow the fuck up. Like they murder these like high teenagers out there. It's almost like Jason Voorhees, like you get high, you're gonna die.
That's right.
Type of thing. And they just like obliterate them. It's super graphic. It's like, oh cool, this is kind of exciting.
And bullets only work against them if the Spartans shoot at them.
Yeah, well,
That's the key.
well,
But even if a Spartan uses the weapons that the rebels were using a second ago, now it works.
I think it's like Death Star rules. There's like specific little kill points that they have to shoot that only Master Chief and Co can do.
it's so bad.
But I liked about that was like their weapons are completely useless. The Covenant is so advanced that they are shit out of luck, which we'll get into our gripes later. So,
Yeah.
but then, as you said, then from the sky falls these angels. What are these angels, Shane?
They are our, once again, protagonists? Spartans. The Spartans, you would recognize them as Master Chief and friends. I'm going to preface this now. If you read the books or played any of the games past 4, I think I played a little bit of 4. I don't know who the fuck these people are. You may know who they are. They're the most boringest things on the planet. But okay, so they show up. Apparently there's some sort of team that Master Chief's in charge of, and they just start murdering all the elites with kung fu and pistols.
And just to clarify, they are also saving the rebels.
Yes, saving. They are trying to save all the humans here actively. And the Scottish guy goes, "Let's help them out."
And then there's even a scene when the rebel leader kind of gives Master Chief like a head nod, kind of like a "What's
Yeah.
up? Okay, thank you." Kind of like okay, I respect you for being here. I don't like you, but thank you for being here, type of thing. And then they murder them all except for one, I think they said, but doesn't make sense later. In episode 4, they're not all dead, but at this point, we're thinking this entire little compound is entirely killed besides...
Oh yeah, they said one survivor, but apparently there was a ton of survivors.
Maybe this is a different outpost. Maybe like this is an outpost before the actual city, but whatever.
Or maybe the writer's room was full of baboons.
It's just us.
I mean, our overlords are beautiful and definitely not unevolved like primates.
Suck my cock, Paramount.
Suck it
Alright.
gently and lovingly.
Yeah.
So the next is obviously we know what's going to happen. This one rebel says, "Take me with you because you left." Oh no, I skipped a whole like chapter there.
Oh, there's the cave. Because there has to be a red herring.
There's the MacGuffin. There's the MacGuffin.
Oh yeah, MacGuffin. There has to be a MacGuffin we're chasing. There's a cave that they're like moving out in the not California hills, and
Clarified. So the Covenant come down looking for something, not just to murder like a
Right.
not just to murder like a diverse fort full of people. They're looking for something in this cave. So the Spartans see it and they go in to investigate.
in this cave, we get kind of another little cool nod where the elite goes invisible.
When it's convenient for the plot, not all the time.
Yes. Why wouldn't they always be invisible? But okay. So we go into the cave, and in this cave, there's like some weird technology, and there's a cube or something, like a little triangle thingy.
The Kingdom Hearts
And-
keyhole.
Yes, a Kingdom Hearts keyhole, and not Sora Chief touches it, and what's wrong, Master Chief? You turned off your targeting computer. Happens, and the Force touches Master Chief and gives him a flash of memories, which immediately is the beginning of the end of this entire series.
Stay objective.
So
Stay objective.
the-
Stay on target.
these-
Stay on target.
The Doom guy now remembers his mom and dad.
Doomslayer.
Like, let's remember that that's who Master Chief was. When that character was created, he was an homage to Doom Guy.
So then that happens. While this is all happening, up in space, I'm guessing, is it a planet or is it like some kind of starship? I don't remember.
Is it at Reach? Or
Yeah, it's Reach. You're right.
in the Halo lore, is a purely military planet. It is like their big military hub, not whatever the fuck it is in this.
So from this this planet of Reach, this scientist named Halsey, who's in charge of the Spartan program.
She's so hot.
I think she's from Species, but
Yeah, she looks very familiar.
I think she's from Species. I didn't do any fucking research on this because I figured you had enough for all of this. But point being is,
It all doesn't matter.
so Halsey tells them, I keep thinking of the singer. So Halsey tells them that, hey, look at that thing, what's going on? And then she's a scientist whose main focus and kind of whole thing is, we got to defeat the Covenant. Spartans are the only way to do this. Oh, shiny thing, bring that to me now.
Yeah.
Because they think that the Covenant one, it's got to be important. So the whole mystery, I say with so many fucking air quotes that hurts my fucking fingers, that like they got to solve what this is because the Covenant want it. I think the
remember,
episode-
your statement earlier, the Spartans are the only thing that has had success against the Covenant. Remember this.
Yes. So then I don't remember if Master Chief intentionally picks up the main tween girl, or does
Yeah,
she
he says, I'm going to go alone. You guys take the Phantom or something. And they're like, this is against protocol. And he goes, I am the protocol. And then
So then he sticks around to do something. Is it going to take her? Is that what it is?
he just takes her. Because she's like unconscious or something.
No, she's running around and she yells at him saying, you can't leave me here. And then...
And then he goes, okay. And she goes, you kidnapped me from that planet.
No, she goes with him and then she's I don't fucking remember now.
It's so stupid. Like, she goes with him.
Yeah, whether against her or with her will, she goes with him. And that's the end of episode 1, I think.
Yeah.
And the only thing that's even remotely maybe relevant is there's a constant bickering amongst different leaders at Reach. There's this one head of something who's like, the Spartans shouldn't be trusted, but Halsey's like, this is the only thing that works. So then there's like this shadow government of, I guess it's like different science or military departments are kind of battling it out for, you shouldn't use the Spartans, but they're their only hope. But we don't trust those Spartans. Well, trust me, I got them under control. That one's not under control. But I have this clone that becomes AI that will keep it under control. Yeah, we'll use it later.
I just like how she's like, I'll shut your funding down. And I'm like, you're going to shut down the only program that has so far done anything against the genocidal aliens that you're facing. And oh, no. She goes, they're already looking to cut your funding. And I was like, the space Nazis are looking to cut the funding of their super soldier program? Like, what?
Yes. Which ties into other things that are giving Shane an aneurysm.
Why would military funding be even a question? We have a war in the Ukraine. No U.S. soldiers are involved. No U.S. assets are involved. Yet we raised our military spending because of it. What makes you think that we wouldn't raise our military spending to fight genocidal aliens?
Your rage blinds you.
Rage is all I have left.
To add on to the insult to injury, the rebels are mad about the very militaristic kind of, you follow us, otherwise you get put into slavery maybe, or you put bad regulations on. We don't really know for sure, but we know they're bad because the people say they're bad.
Rebels good, UNSC bad.
So the frustrating part is when you have the first...
No white people in the rebels, white people in the bad.
There might be a honky or two. I don't remember. There might be one.
There's a couple honkies.
Couple crackers.
But isn't the rebel leader that takes over. He's a honky and he's bad.
Oh, you're right. Hunky bad. Honkies are bad. Okay.
Continue.
So the other tension is, this kind of goes into episode 2, I think, which is called Perfect. The rebel leader's daughter is the only one left, and she says, how could you be a Spartan murderer, and how could you treat this like this, because rebels are... We forgot the whole part where they bring him... Oh my god, they bring him back to the Reach already. This is such a long episode.
And she explains how Master Chief killed her mom.
Oh my god, I forgot about this. There's so much
at the
crap.
rebel meeting, at the annual rebel convention.
Yes, so our main protagonist that we don't really know anything about, we just know that he's a Spartan, and if you're a Halo nerd, you know that's the good guy. So then, immediately at the end of our first episode, this young rebel tween tells our main protagonist, you're a murderer, you're a mindless drone just following orders, how could you kill my mother?
Right.
So now our main character...
And this is when the chief starts to like, oh yeah, I may be bad.
So then the entire time Halsey can monitor him because they have complete control over him, or so they think, or at least can see what they're doing.
Except when the plot needs them not to have complete control.
Exactly. I can see what you're seeing, except when I don't see it. But so they order Master Chief to kill this rebel, and then he doesn't. They force him to come back to Reach. He takes off his motherfucking helmet to show his fucked up face, and then
this was where I wanted to turn off, because I was like, the Master Chief and everything has never pulled off his helmet. We as the audience or the game players know that he has a face, obviously. The point is the Master Chief is a character, like in most first-person shooters, that you inhabit. He is a character that you feel you live through his experiences. He's not someone that you view as a full character. He's part of you. You are him. And that is why his helmet never comes off, because he is kind of, as a character, a wet blanket. Like he isn't, because the whole universe around him is so crazy and stuff that he just is the guy that's like, give me a gun and let me solve the problem.
Yeah.
And that's cool because it was a game.
Yes. So for this one, this is where this is so hard with this TV show is, what do you do with Master Chief? Because he can't be a mindless tool to be used, but then if you give him a gray area, then he can't, he has to second guess every action he does.
I will tell you how you'd solve this. At least in the first season. There are so many characters in Halo, and it is a very large world. The Master Chief cannot be the guy that carries the entire season, right? You can't just have a guy who doesn't take his helmet off and just grunts and nods and gives a couple of words to be the main character, right?
Mm-hmm.
There has to be characters, some other people. You take Captain Keyes, or Admiral Keyes, I think he's a captain at this time, and you make him the other character we follow. So he is your human with a face. He gives you insight into the war effort. He gives you insight into the political background. He gives you access to all the other things of the UNSC. And then we follow Chief when there is one-on-one stories with him and Cortana, like little adventures, and when we need very big action scenes. And at the very end of the season, they come together onto the Pillar of Autumn to obviously go off to the ring where all the nerds can go, oh, I know where this is going. Mm-hmm. That's how you do the first season. Instead, we got fucking #NotMyAdmiral. Like, I miss my mom and dad. I used to have a dog. Whatever the fuck this is. And you have to accept that Master Chief is not gonna be a sex symbol. Like, God.
The only other way I could see of fixing this, well, you can't fix it now, but like of introducing this would be
It's
like, it would be like the Judge Dredd thing, where it's like,
yes,
where it's like you have Dredd, he's a maskless, powerful weapon, and then you have the sidekick who is our conduit. We relate to that person who kind of is reporting. So maybe like this is the beginning of the Spartan program. Spartans are called out to this meeting, but UNSC wants one of their own soldiers on the ground too to kind of monitor it because they're testing out this new Spartan program. And then the Covenant comes in, and then we get introduced to it. So then we experience the emotions from the side character, and Master Chief does all the badass things with the help of Cortana, and then our character gets kidnapped. So then Master Chief and Cortana have to solve their way to save this person, because it's not because Master Chief cares about her, it's because it's his mission to do this, and under the way she solves what the Covenant wants, and the Master Chief is the tool used to save the day, maybe.
Yeah, I even thought that you could have another soldier, like even another Spartan, because it's not revealed that Spartans don't take their helmets off. It's just a Master Chief thing. So why don't we follow the story of another Spartan who is working and like either gets attached with the Master Chief or is going after the Master Chief? Like, you know, like I think this even was a plot line in one of the games. Probably not a very good one because they just always manage to fuck it up. But like, they totally forgot what Halo's about. Humanity on its last leg fighting against an overpowering alien force and overcoming it. Like, when in the Halo games was the UNSC the villains? This is like playing Call of Duty and you're storming the beaches of Normandy, but your character is like, oh man, you know, I was really thinking about the civil rights movement as I was storming the beaches of Normandy. It's like, no, like when you're in this war, it's very black and white. We're good, they're bad. And that's how a good war story gets told. Like, if you take in all the other things, it comes so convoluted and like, the fuck? And yeah, like, obviously there's other things, but like, Halo's not the vehicle to push your let women vote agenda. You know what I mean? Like equal pay for all. That's probably not, Halo's probably not the vehicle for this.
It's definitely not. And like, I understand why they do this, because nowadays everything has to kind of have I say deeper. By deeper, I mean fucking shallow, but to them it's a deeper message of like, oh, the moralities of these things. Like, no, after the war, you can go back and decide whether or not it's important to have the rebels, but the entire...
In Season 2, we can have a rebel faction.
Sure, why not? But having them there takes away from the main plot, and unfortunately, the main plot is dog shit, because for some reason, the mystery is, what is Master Chief's backstory? Because we figure out, and I don't even know if this is like canon, so please tell me if this is correct or not, because I don't remember nothing.
If I know.
I don't remember anything. But the idea is that the horrifying thing is they take young kids, they cut off their dicks and like put a plug up their vaginas and like kill their hormones, all like The Giver, and then they make them just tools. I was getting Starship Trooper vibes. Right. That's a fun movie. And yes. This one's boring as shit. But like, and then after this grueling process, only 4 survive. And then those are the 4 that become the Spartans. So they have no emotion. They're just tools. They don't think. They just react and have a mission. We do the mission. We come back home. But for some reason, Master Chief, a.k.a. John, a.k.a. ruiner of my childhood, is basically just... He's there to feel conflicted and to violate orders during a goddamn most difficult war that humanity has ever experienced.
It's like they wanted to make another Bourne movie. He's like slowly becoming Jason Bourne, I guess. Yeah, so and like the reveal is like they kidnapped the children. Okay. A little bit of me is like, there's genocidal aliens that are coming for us all. We'll answer for those sins later. Like,
my question is why?
There won't be any children
why
to
does
kidnap.
It have to be like this?
Halsey clones herself. They're like, we're shutting down your cloning program. Well, wow, we wouldn't have to steal children if we could make mega clones.
Fucking go full-blown, like, Attack of the Clones. Get your fucking clones out there. They can die by the dozen and no one's gonna give a shit until Star Trek comes in and goes, clones have rights too. Fuck you, clones.
What else are you willing to sacrifice?
Everything. What's the point in saving humanity if we're gonna give up our own?
Fuck you, clones.
Yeah, this whole thing, and like, why did they have to be children? Maybe, okay, we'll give them that they had to be children because of the growth hormones they give them and stuff. Once again, maybe the origins, even if they're dark origins for Master Chief and the Spartans, gets tackled in season 2 or 3. This is not a season 1 thing. Season 1 should have been basically Superman, where it's like, oh, thank God the Spartans are here. Yay!
I think it's because they wanted to expand this for, I'm guessing, 9 episodes. They just wanted to add more shit to kind of keep us subscribed to Paramount Plus, because they don't really care about telling a cohesive story. Oh God, I realize what's going on now.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's even with this convoluted storyline, okay, let's say it kind of holds together when we're following the Spartans, Halsey, and the UNSC, and the Covenant, somewhat, where the thread frays and lights on fire and fucking crashes the 747 is Quan.
Okay, just to say personally,
breaks
this
everything.
Is a gripe that we, in general, just have. We are not against protagonists that have a cause and want to fight for that cause, but in this particular,
I love V for Vendetta.
For this particular story, this character is grating and is constantly just putting everyone else in danger because...
Imagine watching Independence Day, but Will Smith wants to actively work against us surviving the aliens.
It's so
like
confusing.
You're like, why? Why are you against us fighting the aliens?
I just don't get what she's going to do. I know what she wants to do. Her character arc is, I want to fulfill my father's legacy and rebel against the UNSC. To tell them to go fuck themselves,
right,
to get our independence. I understand that. My problem is, why is it now?
And why is it in spite of the human survival? Like, she's seen the Covenant, and she doesn't give a flying fuck. Like, the Covenant killed her dad. The UNSC didn't kill her dad. The Covenant murdered him. Like, wouldn't you think her vendetta would be, I'm gonna destroy the Covenant because they killed my dad?
Yeah, and then jumping ahead, her decisions to just go back to do this rebellion puts all the other characters that are involved in her rebellion plot, and then also Soren, just in danger, just because they have to have this rebel against this, because I feel like every story written by terrible sci-fi writers has to have rebellion. We gotta say bad, because government's bad, fascism bad. We have to put this in every fucking thing we do. Otherwise, how do you know that we care about liberty?
Why can't the UNSC, like old Star Trek, just be kind of a beacon of hope? And humans have been expanding, we've been getting bigger and better, and then we ran up against these aliens that are destructor aliens, and now the human race faces this big crisis. Why could that not be the story? Like, Star Trek was all inclusive. You could still hit your moral beats that Paramount Plus seems to be obsessed with and fight the aliens. And everyone acts like Halo was just not this inclusive thing. Like, it had Hispanic people. It had... the goddamn sergeant was black. Like, he's like a key character.
The Arbiter is voiced by the blackest actor ever.
What would you have your Arbiter do? There are things about Halo even the hierarchs do not understand. Kill me or release me, parasite. But do not waste my time with talk.
It's not like we're doing this game that was like, that was a little problematic. You know what I mean? Like, Halo was not offensive to anybody.
Well, I'm sure someone was offended by it, but I don't really know, because it's a fucking video game. So these are impossible to adapt. They're just not easy to adapt at all. And I think they did it wrong. They tried to make it a humanity story, but for, I don't know. Are we just too not objective to this? Is it because we cared so much about the Halo story?
Because this show sucks, period. Like, even if it wasn't Halo, if it was named, like, Spaceman, it would still suck ass. I'd be like, because, like, even if I didn't have all the little video game isms, it would still be a made-for-TV stupid shit. Like, I think I put in my notes, this looks like CSI Halo. Like, it has the same look, has the same acting level. Like, it's just shit. They took the same TV writers that sunk CBS and all that and put them in a writing room to make a high budget film. Like, it's garbage.
Yeah, and it's boring, and I don't think it's boring because it's all just talking. Some of my favorite movies are talking. I don't even like action. Action scenes don't move the plot along, but it's not the plot. There is nothing going on here of any interest, really, because then I guess we'll jump into the episode 2 really quickly.
Yeah, let's review it.
We get backstory of an old Spartan who,
Soren,
who goes AWOL, right? That's the military term.
He leaves as a child with his child Spartan armor, and it grows with him. Luckily,
it's kind of like Dr. Hyde's hat, or sorry, Mr. Hyde's hat. So
yeah.
So basically, Master Chief remembers where his buddy Soren is at, but even though I guarantee an AWOL deserter would have been shot and killed by the UNSC, because if they're willing to put people like, in some kind of, I still don't even know what they did wrong to the rebels. They're just bad. But if they're willing to control all of the galaxy during a military crisis, I'm sure they're going to fucking kill a deserter. They'll find him and kill him, but Master Chief finds him, no big deal.
Smoke him with a missile. Yeah,
and then they go to some kind of garbage fucking planet where it's some kind of bullshit like communist thing, right? Where like doesn't Soren say everyone takes what they need to and does what they want to? There's no laws here. I'm like, if you have a bunch of outlaws anywhere without rules, no matter what kind of bullshit hippie things you think you're doing, this is going to become absolute chaos, and everyone's going to get raped and murdered.
Soren has raped and murdered someone there,
wife,
for sure.
His wife was not consensual.
No.
She looks very scared.
He's a clone super soldier. He's raped and murdered someone.
Yeah. And so somehow he finds his own little crater in the moon, which doesn't make any fucking sense to me of how you can actually get oxygen through those, but whatever. There's a big hole in it. So then he takes the girl there because Soren will watch him because he's Master Chief's little bitch for some reason. And then Soren tells him there's this crazy guy locked up in a cage with no locks on it that'll tell you what this fucking keyhole means. And then we get the most original, perfect plot point ever penned in cinematic sci-fi history, Shane.
I'm realizing I slept through everything you just...
Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to
slept
make
through
it
all
exciting.
this.
But Shane, what do we figure out about Master Chief?
I don't know. I slept. What did we figure about John?
He's our only hope for humanity.
Oh, he's the chosen one. This gets reiterated in episode 3 and episode 4.
But Shane, did you know that Spartan 117 is the only hope for the human race?
Right, because they had to go with the chosen one plot. They couldn't just be like Die Hard. He's the right guy at the right time in the right place.
Nope. He's the right guy at the wrong place at the wrong time, and then he fucking puts his fucking bootstraps up and fucking does it because he's the only one who can.
Yeah, because he's capable and he can. Nope. It's some sort of fate or destiny or like, why? It's got to be just a lazy writing trope. Writers do this all the time. They go like they go with the chosen one or the fate or destiny. Like, why? Why do they do that? Because the original Halo story in the game is a ship is attacked by the Covenant and it crashes on a ring world that no one knows where they are. Then the Chief and a few survivors do a guerrilla war to try and get off the ring. Right guy at the wrong place at the wrong time. Has nothing else matters. It is purely him surviving and fighting. That was what Halo was. Now it's like no one else but you. Why not 100 of the other Spartans? Apparently there was 116 other Spartans before him.
And this kind of develops over episodes 3 and 4 where it's like it just dives deeper into John's special because John can predict that coin flips. And John has memories. And when John touches the keyhole, it gives him orgasmic memories from his childhood. It's just, there's not really a reason. It is what it is because I'm guessing the writers don't have a reason yet. They're kind of doing the Lost thing. dragging us along until they find some bullshit reason, which I'm guaranteed. We should actually make predictions. I guarantee he's part Covenant. It's gonna be some kind of bullshit, like he's some special alien Covenant child from Jesus.
Oh, because there already is a human that the Covenant apparently worship, or something.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me.
What the fuck is she all about? Why is she there? Is it because we just didn't want to show the Covenant a lot? So they're like, oh, let's just get a human. That way we can cut out some of the CGI.
Oh, you don't remember what they did? Well, like plot-wise, I know what they did. Do you remember what they did plot-wise?
She's the Covenant's version of John.
Yes, she was on another fucking trash planet. How many fucking trash planets are there? Probably a lot.
A lot of trash.
A lot of trash planets, honestly. There's a lot of trash out there. But
We saved the whales, but we killed the space whales.
yeah, reference to Star Trek. So this girl is trying to fuck this boy on a trash planet. And I mean like a little 12-year-old girl trying to kiss or something. It's really weird. And then the elites land on there and they go, hold on.
After the fascists chase them with shock sticks.
Yeah, right? Oh, God. So the fascists
So
are
then
there.
the Covenant are the good guys.
Then the real fascists, greatest Jesus freaks, come on there. And they say, don't kill this one. She's the special one. Because they have, like, EKG meters and can tell that she's part of a ghost or some bullshit. Or she's got the
Dude,
Jesus.
I don't fucking know.
She has the Holy Spirit. She has the Holy Spirit in her, okay? So
Yes.
they basically pick her, and she becomes the... But what is she to them? Like,
They called her like the blessed one or something.
okay.
He's like, you're the blessed one. And she's like,
So the Phantom Menace aliens just randomly pick some white bitch to be their blessed one because she has enough midichlorians.
yes, and they're racist.
And the races, of course. Okay. so then that's a whole plot, and that side plot is just we're gonna destroy the UNSC, goddamn acronyms. Destroy them from the inside out because she wants John. I need the, what do they call him? What's the Covenant name for John? The demon, right?
Yeah, demon.
I love it. They call him the demon, which is kind of great.
They have ancient religious, which I can buy. You know what? If they want to use religious terms that we recognize, I don't give a fuck. Like,
No, the Covenant, besides this weird whitewashing white bitch, they stick to script. We have a religion, and if you don't convert, we're gonna kill you all. I can get it.
yeah, they're part of the Great Journey, which requires. It's just a big crusade. It's basically a big Catholic crusade.
I'm okay with that because I swear to fucking Christ, I swear to God, next season they're gonna bring in the Arbiter, and the Arbiter's gonna have the Arbiter's. Okay, so
Oh, yeah.
fuck, I just can't yet. I'm getting too many fucking strings are pulling me.
Your rage.
Is all I have left.
So she's reading Dante's Inferno or something.
Yeah, she's reading some kind of English thing, some human literature. Goddamn dog! Shut the fuck up, Harley, you dumb bitch.
She's reading Oliver Twist.
Because she's an orphan and trash, and basically they're taking up. She's the chosen one, and her job is to get John to add another fucking side plot because we don't have enough bullshit going on here.
Right.
And then meanwhile,
Yeah, she's after something. Yeah,
Cortana.
Cortana.
Cortana's a huge thing.
And she should be. Like,
yes.
I don't actually have. She's one of the better parts of the show.
I hate what they fucking did to her, but
Oh, yeah.
I like it's. This is the nerd. This is the nostalgia nerd coming out. At least in me, I can't speak for you. I loved Cortana. Cortana is such an important part to Halo because she's the Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah, she's your guide.
She's your guide. She has emotions, but she also saves John's ass. She is an equal to John, which...
And she is critical to giving John character. He is an emotionless murder machine. But when he finds himself alone, the voice in his head that guides him everywhere is his friend. Cortana is his friend, which is unlike any other Spartan because they don't have friends. They don't give a shit. But she makes him human. And that is where you can build your John character, not his lost, forgotten parents and dog.
I just don't get why. Why? When you have an established plot line and you have characters that fulfill the roles that you're trying to refill with someone else, why are you bothering?
And I'm pretty sure if we're going to stick to canon or lore, he doesn't meet Cortana until he's on the Pillar of Autumn about to crash, because she is the AI for the ship Pillar of Autumn. She's just the nerds can come after me. I'm sure there's some like after the game's 7th book, thing where it's like, well, actually, Cortana was the chosen AI to evolve above all AIs, and that's how. No, she was the ship's AI on the Pillar of Autumn, and Captain Keyes goes, it's Protocol 77 blah 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 blah, that no shipboard AI can be captured by the Covenant because they'll find Earth. So they give him to Master Chief, and he puts her in his head begrudgingly. He doesn't even want to do his fucking mission like a good soldier, because that's what he is. And then it goes from there. She wasn't like made to control John.
Yeah, and that's what really upsets me is I think this is episode 3. Halsey finally gets the clones to turn on in 2, and in 3 we get Cortana is an AI whose sole mission is to keep John aligned and to watch him to report back to Halsey as a secret spy. And it entirely makes me hate this, because it's like, but now at some point John is going to figure out that Cortana's mission is to spy, and it's going to have that awkward severance of, oh, I can't trust you anymore, and then she has to rebuild that trust. It's like, why the fuck are you doing this?
And that's the worst part, because now we have to trust this actor whose face we see, and he's a terrible actor, and he's going to have to give us emotion.
Yeah, and this is like nostalgia, because I have no nostalgia, but I like Cortana, and I like her in this because she's trying so hard to be helpful to John. She's like an Alexa or a Siri that's just there to be supportive, really, but yeah. She's deeper than that, because she's like built in with the emotions to kind of be funny and kind of raise up like John's spirits to keep him kind of, keep going and help him out. And instead it's just like, she's like grimacing constantly, going, oh, I'm sorry that I'm helping John. I shouldn't be, but I should be helping John. And her first line are, why aren't I the one controlling the Spartan? Because you made me to be in full control. I'm like, oh, cool. So at some point we're going to get Cortana's going to be in charge of John and just ruin everything.
I hate this. I hate this so much. Episode 3, something happens. He digs up a box. Or is that in episode 4?
That's 4.
Apparently, as a kid, which is even worse, he's interacted with this ancient device before.
Yeah,
he was a kid.
He saw it in a dream, because he's some kind of
psychic,
something prophet or some bullshit.
Oh my god. This is a show about aliens and the human race fighting, and we're doing this. Like, there's so many simple paths. They could have made it such a badass, fun thing, but they got up their own asses so hard.
Well, fuck do I say from there? Okay. I guess the last question is, can we fucking fix this? Is there any way to reroute this? Is there any chance that Paramount Plus can fucking fix this by the end of this first season?
Okay, so let's approach it like this. Episodes 1 through 4 are made and they're done. We can't change those. But can we fix it from here? Well,
we know. I want to look like, do you think they can fix it? Just from the trajectory they're going.
Oh no. They made season 2 Picard, man. they're going. It's the same people, man. We're fucked. This thing's only gonna get deeper and deeper into fucking nonsense. There's gonna be angels. There's gonna be literal angels.
Well,
I'm telling you.
They have religious zealots, so whatever. I can buy they have some kind of thing like that.
They're gonna go full Jason Bourne. Chief's gonna start blowing up the UNSC.
No, there's no way he's gonna go that far.
Because he's gonna be, you kidnapped me as a child.
No, he's gonna go rogue, and then he's gonna kind of follow the UNSC's mission. But then at the end of the season, he'll be like, I'm no longer doing this. I'm going on my own, and then he'll have to get pulled back to solve another Covenant problem. That's 100% where it is. He'll do this mission, but don't bother calling me in the morning afterwards, type of thing.
And his Spartan friends will follow him because for some reason they don't view him as their squad leader. They view him as Jesus.
No, I think the one red-haired bitch is gonna follow him, and then the other two will stick around because there's no way the UNSC can not have like Spartans on their side.
Have we even talked about Miranda Keys and what the hell she does? Because I thought she was a ship captain. I thought that was her thing. Is like she's a fleet commander, or like a young officer in the fleet, because her father is an admiral, a renowned war hero, but instead she's some sort of intelligence scientist.
Oh, is she like the young black girl?
Yes.
So in the story in the wonderful TV show we're watching, she's the daughter of Halsey.
No. Miranda Keys, Keys, Halsey's her mom?
Yeah, she says my mom has never cared about anything human. She wants things only logistically.
Oh my sweet dick on a stick.
Oh, you don't remember that?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, her dad's the admiral, but her mom is Halsey.
Oh my god.
Oh, you don't remember that? That's hilarious. I love that you didn't know that.
I quit. I quit. Don't watch Halo. That's all, folks.
The only question is, do you think we'll get the flood this season or no?
No. That's the only thing that could save this season, is if the flood just starts eating everyone. And they won't.
But that won't even, save it, because the rebels only care about rebelling, and they don't care about humanity. They care about their only small planet of Tatooine. They don't give a fuck about anything else.
Yeah, they're extraordinarily selfish.
So they only show us what...
We won't get the flood this season. We'll get a reference to the flood. Like, the second, Kingdom Hearts key will reveal, a vision of the flood or something like that.
Remind me, is the flood, a weapon that the Covenant tried to use and didn't? Or
no, the flood... So there's 3 races: humans, Forerunners, and the Covenant. The Covenant believed that the Forerunners were basically Jesus people. Like they were ancient, and they kind of worship their technology and they think they were prophetic. The Forerunners were an advanced race that created the flood as a bioweapon that turned on them.
Kind of like Prometheus.
So then they created the Halo rings to kill all organic life, because that's how the flood survive, is by infecting organic life. So the Forerunners basically made the rings so that they could nuke all organic life. The Covenant don't know this. They think that by activating the ring, they will activate the Great Journey.
Okay. See, I have literally played the campaign for the first Halo 10 times, and I don't know any of this shit. I just like to shoot aliens and scream and run away from the flood. That was some of my favorite times us growing up, was us playing co-op, screaming at each other, saying, "You fucking idiot, don't flip the warthog," and then run from the flood.
Watch the goddamn corner!
Those are just some great times, and now we have this Halo to bond on.
And I know that some people of our 5 people that listen to this may, in Halo 4 and 5, this is explained, the Forerunners, and Halo Chief meets a Forerunner, fuck you.
Oh, I don't care about that.
Just fuck you.
I don't give a fuck about the plot.
The thing is I blame Paramount Plus a lot for this piece of shit, because they made it. This is their baby. But I blame Halo nerds and Star Wars nerds and Trekkie nerds more, because they paint these studios into a corner. They're part of the issue on why these shows suck, because they hold these studios to such the lore says. Well, even if the lore is dumb.
I disagree with that. I don't think the studios give a flying fuck about the fans, because this Halo has nothing to do with the original Halo. And Star Wars, Disney was like, "Hey, Rian Johnson, do whatever you want to." And then because of the backlash, they brought J.J. Abrams back to bring in just nonsense. So I don't think they give a flying fuck about that. I think some studios care about nerds.
That's true. Who is this Halo made for?
I don't. That's the thing, is I just don't know. I talked to a couple people who are Halo nerds, and I asked them, did you watch this? And they go, I just don't care enough to watch it. And then other ones are like, I just don't get this. Like, why did they make this like this? And it's like, I don't know. I don't understand it, because I can separate my nostalgia from a new thing, but this is just like terrible writing, and it is just nonsense.
It just got renewed for season 2, obviously. We will vow not to watch season 2, because I think one of the reasons that Halo is surviving is because people have to see how bad it is. Like, everyone's hearing how bad it is, but there's like this little snicker of hope, like maybe it won't, like maybe it's not that bad. And so they're getting the viewership, even if the viewership is vomiting while they watch.
So the moral of this podcast is we're the UNSC, and then
We're the fascists.
No, we're the ones. Yeah, we're the fascists who are imposing our will by watching this, while the good people not watching Halo are the rebels because they're not watching it.
They're all Korean.
So it's our fault. So do you think we'll even come back for the last 5 episodes?
Oh, we have to. We're in this fucking deep.
Not if you're
Like-
Dan and I with Dexter. We dropped that shit and said, fuck this. We have nothing to say about this show at all. Fuck this show.
Maybe if they're so, like, if it's still at this level of bad, we can just put out a tweet that gets canceled and just be at that. But as of right now, the first half of Halo it's below dog shit. Because, like, it's offensive with how bad it is.
I think it's just boring, convoluted nonsense.
It's not like some random show that you watch on Netflix and you go like, whatever, you know. Not my cup of tea. Some detective thriller that's boring, you know, but Netflix gave it the green light. This is like, the studio took something that has taken so long to get at, and they not only, like, it's not like it's bad because they just underfunded it. It's bad because the writers nuked it, so it didn't even have a chance. They self-sabotaged, which is like the most brutal part of this. It's kind of like Star Trek, where they have taken one of the most loyal fan bases and actively made them hate their own IP. Disney did it with Star Wars. They've done it now. Paramount's done it with Star Trek. Like, you hear a lot of Star Trek. I used to know some Trekkies, and they don't identify as Trekkies anymore.
But
They've about damn near given up.
But once again, who cares? Because who cares about the fans? Because if this gets enough subscriptions, then loyalty doesn't mean anything. So just fuck us. Because, like, I don't care. I'm not, like, next time you come over to my house, we'll play some more fucking Halo, and we won't talk about the TV show. So who cares what we think?
Well, I will say I can't be Master Chief knowing what a racist fascist he said. I will actively kill the Marines because I know that they serve Space Hitler.
So all we're gonna do is just play Halo and keep jumping off the ledge and just keep killing ourselves.
We're gonna try and help the Covenant.
Oh God.
Oh.
Well, if you're still here, thanks for listening. Please subscribe. Follow us on social media. We're now on YouTube. I'm sure this video will not last long on YouTube. So.
Oh, we're gonna be demonetized
We
quick.
don't have any money. But thanks for listening. We don't recommend you listen to Halo.
Don't do it. Let us watch it and
We'll
tell
watch
you.
it and bitch, and then I
Don't
will
give me-
immediately cancel my Paramount Plus subscription. Or if we get 2 more episodes in and say, fuck this, I don't care anymore, we'll cancel it, and then we'll talk about something else that we hate too.
Yeah.
The truth could bring us all down.
There is something within us. Something sacred. Something worth protecting. Silver Team! On me!
I kind of got a game if you want to try it
Okay.
out, where you'll be a writer and you're pitching to the lead writer, but the lead writer is me as Joe Biden.
Okay. And for Halo?
Yeah. All right, gang. We're here to watch the Halo things, and man, where was I? Yeah, we're here for the space monkey that saves us.
Mr. Biden, as the head of Paramount Plus. So my idea for Halo should be we get like this first-person perspective of this badass Spartan that has amazing weapons, and he is like the only, he and his cohorts, this Spartan group, small group of them, because resources are very limited because we're at a war. We put our last hope in these like 4 Spartans to like defend the universe. So what do you think of like, it's like kind of this really in-depth action and excitement to like, you know, it's very patriotic for humanity. That's our last chance to defeat these invading aliens. What do you think?
So first of all, thank you, young Jedi. For first person is the key, because the first person to find the Spartans was a man. We know this. It's written, and so we follow the first person to the end, and resources are critical. They're the key platform, because without resources you can't resource anything. So follow the idea of the first man in search of his resources, and then, you know, this reminds me of a man I used to know.
Who is that man, Mr. Biden? Okay, so
next question.
I appreciate that feedback. So the idea of resources. Okay. So what if the humanity is sending their Spartans into this alien planet that they know the Covenant is heading for, and they have to get there first and mine the resources. So the Spartans are going there first to clear it out and set up shop, so that the humanity sends their drill team in there to get that. What do you think of that idea for, like, you know, tying in last hope resources, and these resources are really important to the humans?
That's fine. That's fine episode you have right there. So with the resources, like you're saying, is they drill into the Mexican aliens. Now, my problem is this, is that they already have shops, so they don't need to set up shops. I was in Tijuana as a young man, visiting a place called Hong Kong. Now, and
I'm sorry, Mr. Biden. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at this. I'm laughing at this thing that happened yesterday that doesn't involve this at all. I apologize for my insubordination.
Come on, man. And in Hong Kong, they actually had 4 women dressed up like Spartans, and let's just say they did drill my resources, and I think that is why America is great.
Mr. Biden, I appreciate the feedback, but I don't understand why you're now William Clinton, or ex-CEO of Paramount.
Because I cannot do impressions. Last question.
Okay, so I guess since there are some tensions between the United States and Mexico, we could make the aliens Latin American aliens, maybe to kind of talk about the tensions in the past of humanity between 2 people. So I guess we could deviate from what the fans want, and then maybe by the end, the Covenant and the humans see that we're not so different, you and I, and have to stop this entity called the Flood that is kind of mindless and destroying all the resources. What do you think of that?
Speaking of mindless,
oh God,
space is so infinite, and think about the word space, man. Like, there's so much of it, yet we can't agree to share it. That's crazy.
You know what? I think I'm just gonna tender my resignation and give the full writing credits to Social Justice Sally over here. She'll handle it. She got you.
Sally's nice. I know Sally. We used to work at Hong Kong together.
Go fuck yourselves.